Right, today I am going to be talking about the breathing system, also called the respiratory system. It's different from cellular respiration, which, as you know, is a cellular process occurring in all cells of the body. This process is just taking in the oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide back into the air. So as you know, it starts in the nose. It's where the air can come in, or the mouth. As we all know, I'm an excellent artist. And the air rushes in through those two places, the mouth or the nose, and down the back of the throat. When it goes past the voice box, that area is called the larynx. It's in your neck. And it divides off at this point into your trachea, which leads down to your lungs, or your esophagus, which leads down to your stomach. And there's a little flap of skin here at the top of the pathway where it divides, called your epiglottis. And that epiglottis stays open all the time, so that it allows you to breathe. But when you swallow, it shuts off, so that stops food from going down the wrong way, because it should be food obviously going down the other pathway and into your stomach. So your trachea has rings of cartilage, which holds it open all the time, and I've tried to draw in those rings of cartilage here. And those rings continue all the way down into the lungs. The two lungs, which I'll draw one lung here and one lung here, have smaller and smaller tubes leading down, and the first tube that it divides off is called the bronchi, which is kind of like a branch, one of the two main branches, and these get finer and finer into the lungs, these branches, until eventually they are microscopic. All right, so these microscopic little tubules at the end are now called bronchioles. Right, the bronchioles then finish in air sacs, and these air sacs I have drawn bigger here than what they normally are. There's 150 million of these per lung, and the air sac is known as the alveoli, and that alveoli is important for getting the oxygen into the blood and the carbon dioxide out of the blood. So they are also called air sacs. Each alveoli has got a really rich blood supply. I'm going to write these at the top here. A rich blood supply. When you look at the lung, it's nice and pink. It's covered in capillaries, and those capillaries are attached to the alveoli. The barrier in between the alveoli and the blood supply is only one cell thick. So there is one cell for the alveoli and then one cell for the capillary, and you're straight into the capillary, into the blood. So it is very thin-walled, one cell thick. And that enables really fast diffusion of the gases. It's also got a really large surface area. If you were to take the lungs and spread them out, they would actually cover those alveoli the size of a tennis court. So large surface area, that is going to enable lots of diffusion to take place. If you don't have enough alveoli in your lungs, you can't get enough oxygen into the body. All right, large surface area, one cell thick, rich blood supply, and it's nice and moist. In order for the diffusion to occur, you have to have a moist surface. Only across a moist surface. So that moisture is really important. Now that's going to mean that the oxygen, if you want, you can call this O2, but just notice that the 2 is little and low, is able to diffuse into the blood, and that is just from high concentration, when the highest place is in the alveoli, and it diffuses across and into the blood capillary where it's a low concentration. As you know, blood is using up oxygen all the time, So by the time it gets back to the lung, it's now a very low concentration of oxygen, and diffusion tells us that anything will move from high to low concentration. At the same time, carbon dioxide is moving in the opposite direction. Again, from high to low concentration, its highest concentration is in the blood, its lowest is in the alveoli, so it's moving from the high concentration across to the low and then all the way out, following the reverse journey that the oxygen did. So carbon dioxide is also diffusing across at the same time. The end.